If you're not ready to give up, check out mdriveformen.com. More lean muscle. Good to have you in. Best for last on Mondays throughout the NFL season. We call it the three-word game, that it forces you to describe every game in 3 words. Be more succinct, and here we go.
Panthers at Falcons.
Finally cleaning house. Atlanta fired their coach and their general manager. Finally cleaning house. Their defense, with a defensive coach, is ranked tied for 30th and 31st in yards allowed. So when you've got a defensive coach and you're 14-23, their defense is bad, and they have Matt Ryan, whom people think's a top 12 quarterback. So and by the way, Dimitrov's a smart guy, but in the end, they don't have enough dynamic personnel. Finally cleaning house.
Jaguars at Texans.
Will clean house. The Jaguars are abysmal. Doug Marrone should go. I understand what they're doing. Gardner Minshew now feels like he's regressing. They're 28th in point differential. They made an egregiously bad 4th down call deep in Texans territory and snapped the ball directly to their running back, who was going to throw but fumbled. It was so bad. It was so rinky-dink high school. Let's clean it up and start over.
Raiders at Chiefs.
Derek threw deep. Henry Ruggs, 118 yards. Derek Carr, the knock on him is he can dink and dunk. He doesn't like to throw deep. And John Gruden loves explosion plays. Well, Carr threw 2 passes, 50-plus yards, season high in passing yards and passer rating. And give Gruden credit, he and Mike Mayock have drafted lots of speed.
Cardinals at Jets.
Can't blame Darnold. The Jets now are 0 for 7 since Sam Darnold arrived in games in which Sam Darnold doesn't play. It is not Sam Darnold. This is systematic, institutional, coaching, front office. This is an egregiously bad team who, by the way, they've allowed 30-plus points in their last 4 games. So they're bad on both sides.
Eagles at Steelers.
Still doubting Steelers. They're 24th in yards per play. And that's just weird to me, considering you have Big Ben, Claypool, and some big play offensive players. I think they should be favored over Cleveland, but I think the Browns have a real shot in that game. They're still too inconsistent for me. There are elements I like for the Steelers, but they let the Eagles hang around in this puppy for 3.5 hours, and they have much better, healthier personnel right now than Philadelphia.
Bengals at Ravens.
Burrow getting bludgeoned. He's taken the most sacks, hits, pressures in the NFL this year. He is on pace to get sacked 70 times this year. Like Andrew Luck in a bad year got sacked like 45 to 50. And he's not getting sacked by the average defenses. You're talking about Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, some of the biggest dudes in the league playing the AFC North.
Rams at Washington.
Welcome back, Alex. Right tibia. He had 17 surgeries on his leg, and I think I speak for almost all of America. We were a nervous wreck watching him play yesterday.
Dolphins at 49ers.
A new Garoppolo. It's not getting easier, folks. They take on the Rams, the Patriots, at the Seahawks, Packers, at the Saints, at the Rams, Bills. It kind of feels like the season is over. They have the single toughest stretch in the NFL, and whether it's inefficiency, incompetence, or an injury, they are offensively, and this is hard to do with Kyle Shanahan, completely out of sync.
Giants at Cowboys.
A bad win. The Giants had scored 47 total points in the first month. They scored 34 yesterday. I mean, it's not like Daniel Jones always had a lot of time. Daniel Jones was running and still wildly productive. They're really bad on the back end. I guess Dak's hurt. The defense is atrocious. The schedule's lightening up in the next 3 weeks. I guess the good news is Andy Dalton is a very good distributor, and they have a lot of good wide receiver weapons.
Colts at Browns.
Rivers dried up. God, he was awful. 4 TDs and 5 picks this year. I know he's a trash talker. I know everybody loves him, but they have done so many things right. The coach, Frank Wright, the assistants, they stole Dallas's best young defensive assistant. They built a great offensive line. DeForest Buckner, they've drafted well. Jonathan Taylor's terrific. Phillip Rivers can't make the throws. He can't make the throws down the sidelines. 60 passer rating yesterday, and that's not a great Cleveland defense. It's very average on the back end, but he's undermining now everything else they've done in the organization at a high level.
Vikings at Seahawks.
Zimmer's dangerous decision. Still don't like going for it, leading 26-21. Kick the field goal up 29-21. Force Russell Wilson, who hadn't played well in a driving rainstorm, to not only drive the field for a touchdown, but then secure a 2-point conversion, and that would still give you overtime, where the Vikings had outplayed Seattle, had 450 total yards, and ate almost 40 minutes of the clock on Sunday night. Didn't love it at all. Trent Dilfer didn't like it, and he's a coach right now. Didn't like it at all. Analytics, manalytics, blah, blah, blah. All right, good stuff. So tonight, I get old man Drew Brees, and I get Justin Herbert for the Chargers. I'm not sure what the line's like 3.5 on that, 3.5, 4. What is it? Is it 7? Oh, I'll take the Chargers. I got to make back some of my earnings, which I lost yesterday.
It's Falcons.
Oh, it's terrible. Well, I've stopped betting the Jets. Now I'm off the Falcons. I'm going to take the Chargers +7 tonight. That's a good number. I'm going to take that. All right, Speak for Yourself is right around the corner for Goulet and Joy. It's great to have you in on a Monday in L.A. It's the Herd.